left cheek, right cheek. Hi beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Georgia for those of you who are new, and to my regular subscribers, welcome back. So as you could tell from the title, we are going to do a recap and a review of the Nightcap with Carlos King. It is only natural that I do a review of this show because I do review Love and Marriage Huntsville and now the newest member to the franchise, Love and Marriage D.C. So it's natural that I review the Nightcap with Carlos King. So we start off the episode. It's a half-hour show that's on the OWN network, and to start off, we see Carlos. He dances. He comes out onto the stage, and he has his little his little dog in his hand, and he tells us, he introduces that this is Godiva, and then we get into the show. He then brings out his first guest to the show, and it is Melody Holt. And if you guys don't know, Melody Holt is also from Love and Marriage Huntsville. She is also one of the executive producers from Love and Marriage Huntsville. She's the one who brought the show idea, her along with her husband Martel, brought the show to Carlos, and they have made it a success since. They are in season 4 at this point. I have done reviews from the get-go, from the initial season 1, all the way through season 4. I have created playlists on my channel, so everything is segmented. So if you want to go back and watch all my reviews of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and now I'm doing Love and Marriage D.C, you can do so. So he brings out Melody and introduces her, and then he brings out Monique Samuels, who is from Love and Marriage D.C, formerly of Real Housewives of Potomac. And I also reviewed that show. If you can't tell by now, I'm a lover of reality TV. So I have reviewed all those shows, and I watched when Monique actually left left Real Housewives of Potomac, and this is her first time back with reality TV. So alright, Carlos brings them out, and he have different segments of the show, and the first one is called Sip and See. So they're standing like, it's set up like a little lounge area at first, so they're standing at the round table, and they play a clip of the show with Melody in the last episode, episode 8 from the Galentine's event, when Melody and Letitia were going back and forth, and then we had Destiny and Stormy going back and forth, and I've done my review on that. This is the video that's posted just before this. You could go back and watch that. So Carlos asked her to, what was happening there? How did it go from 0 to 100 real quick? Because that's exactly what happened. And Melody was like, I really don't know. We were sitting here talking, whatever, and everything just went left. And I don't know what happened, but we got through it. Then we played a clip from Monique's show, where what was the clip that they played from Monique? I forget, but they played a clip from Monique's show, and they also, not Monique's show, I should say Love and Marriage D.C, and they talked about that a little bit. Also, Carlos gave us a little bit more about his family dynamic. We find out that Carlos is the middle child of 10 kids. And he told us that when he was in 6th grade, that his teacher sent him a note to his mother telling him that he was smart and also sassy. So he dedicated the first portion of that Sip and See to his 6th grade teacher, to tell her that, listen, so you see, sassy boys could turn out to be on TV. So that was interesting to see. I have my notes. That's why you see me looking down. And oh yeah, another thing that he covered in that small portion of Sip and See is where they talked about Maurice's comment to say that Melody is in the middle of all the mess. Every time you turn around, you hear Melody. It's Melody and Letitia, Melody and Destiny, Melody and Martel. So see that Melody is at the center of all the drama. And Melody says, coming from the least relevant person in the group, he shouldn't have anything to say, and he's the one who got caught in a lie, which is true. I mean, Maurice did get caught in a lie where he said he wasn't on the boys' trip to Atlanta, and yet he's in the center of the picture, bright as ever, looking right dead in the camera, and he's right there along with them. And then Carlos kind of went into why her and Melody and Destiny have fallen out as friends. And as Melody points out, she's like, listen, I am a good friend, and I didn't want to say about all that I've done for her. However, since she came for me at social media, let's just put it out there. So Melody goes in to tell us that she went to Destiny's house or business, I'm not sure exactly where, and she saw a utility note on the door, and she picked it up, and so Carlos asked her, she helped her pay the bill. So Carlos asked her, so in total, how much money have you given to Destiny? And Melody said $5,000 to $6,000. Of course, everybody was like, because Carlos has a live audience, so you could hear everyone in the background when they gasped. And Carlos is like, what? We pay you that much on Love and Marriage, Huntsville? And Melody just laughed it off, because we know Melody has several businesses. She has a number of businesses going on. So I'm sure that money was just a drop in the bucket for her. Even though, she's working towards, her children and their future, I'm sure Destiny is expected to pay that back, and I hope she has by now. But I don't really think that was a gift. Melody, if that is a generous gift. And I don't think you would have even spoke on it if she didn't come out and say that you were a master manipulator and that you're a liar and stuff like that. I'm sure you would have held that close to your heart. But hey, it is. All is fair in love and war, they say. Now we get to Monique, and he asks Monique, so have you heard from any of your former castmates from that other show about you being on this new show? And she says, yes, I've heard from Karen and Ashley, which are two of my other favorites on the show, and also from Andy Cohen. And I was surprised to hear her say that, because honestly I thought Andy was a part of the problem, but she's like, no, it's not. So it's good to hear Monique say that she doesn't have a problem with Andy, and that the only two castmates that really matters are the ones that she keep in touch with. So again, the shade. So of course Carlos was like, all right, let's move on. Let's see what else we're going to talk about. So then they went for commercial break, and they came back, and now the setting has changed. Now we have Carlos sitting in his throne, royal blue and gold throne. And then we have Melody and Monique sitting off to the side. Not to the side, but across from him, where, sitting side by side, catty corner, but across from Carlos. So he's like, welcome back. On the stage, we have Melody Holt. Melody was like, I've dropped that name. It's Melody Shari. So if you guys don't already know, Melody has dropped Holt, even though she said she would never give up that last name, which I don't think she will, but for entertainment purposes and for being out there in the media, she's using Melody Shari. So make sure you know that going forward. So then Carlos asks Monique about this list. If you have watched the first episode, you know that Monique and her husband Chris, they go to a either a marriage counselor or a therapist, and they were given homework where they had to create a list about, their aspirations in life going further as a couple, individually, or whatever. Monique has completed her list. However, her husband has been procrastinating, so because of that, they're getting into clashes regarding the list. And it got kind of heated in episode 1, where, she's telling him, listen, just because you think we're in quarantine and stuff, is not an excuse for you to not do it. So she points out that her husband is a procrastinator from way back when, and it's frustrating because she wants to be able to communicate with him and make plans with him going forward, as far as, how are we going to be as a couple. And so she's like, that list, I need the list to know what he's saying, because he doesn't really communicate as well as he should. She has to pull things out of him. So having that list would help her know how to move and maneuver with him, even though they've been married for 10 years. We all know that Chris is a retired football player, so most of the time he was away on games and stuff like that, and the whole focus was on him and his career. But now that he's retired, he's spending a lot more time around him and the kids and the family. So Monique, she wants that list, and Chris needs to get it to her. So that's what they were coming in episode 1. They were having little clashes regarding that. So all right, so now we have another segment of the show, which is questions from the viewers. It's called the King Hotline. And there was one question that was posed to Monique from the viewers through Carlos. So the question was on Carlos's podcast, Reality with the King. He did come up with, being that he's been in reality TV for so long, that he basically have a relationship and he knows all of the real housewives of whatever. He knows them all. So he came up with a segment where he has the top 10 housewives of reality TV. And one of the people who made the list was Giselle Bryant. And we all know that Giselle and Monique are not friends. They don't really care for each other. So the question was asked to Monique, how do you feel about Giselle making the list and how do you feel about not making the list? And she was like, well, honestly, that position should have gone to Karen Huger, because we all know that, because I think Giselle was a little bit higher up on the list than Karen, if I'm not mistaken. Karen was on the list, but Giselle was a little bit higher on the list because according to Carlos, Giselle is the one that constantly stirred the pot of Real Housewives of Potomac, and she makes it so that everybody has a storyline. So Monique was like, no, that is not the case. Karen is the one who actually gives everybody a storyline. Giselle can't dress, she can't keep a man, blah, blah, blah. She just was throwing shots out there at Giselle. So she felt that Karen should have been in a position where Giselle was, and that if she was on the show a little bit longer, that she would have made the list as well. But that was her opinion based on that. Now that little segment finished, and then we have what's another segment called Word on the Street. And the word on the street, you had Miss Wanda come in, and she was referring to when Melody and Tisha went back and forth at the table at the Galentine's event, and where Kimmy forgot to tell the other ladies that they can't use the B word or girl in that manner. So when it got a little bit heated, Melody let it slip out and called Tisha the B word. So Miss Wanda is addressing that here, and she's telling her the advice that she gives her daughter is that when people call you B, don't worry about them hoes. Okay, she's using a word that's even worse than B, and she kept going on. Tell them ho, and if they call you a B, make sure they call you the HBIC. So that was Miss Wanda's advice to her daughter, and that's word on the street. And if you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, then you know who Miss Wanda is. And you know that whenever she starts to speak, you have to lean in a little bit, and you have to concentrate on hearing every word that she's saying, and make sure you know the English language very well. That way you could substitute the words that she messed up for the correct words that need to go where they need to go. So that's where we had word on the street, with Miss Wanda. Now, when she was done with that, Monique asked, does Miss Wanda have a man? And Melody was like, because she said, usually when you have women like that who's into their adult children life, they don't have a man of their own. So Melody was like, wow, I hope she does, because she done tell us that she had a husband and a boyfriend, and her baby daddy be in my DMs. So I'm like, wait, Miss Wanda's baby daddy, who could that be? Then she clarified. She's like, yeah, you asked Tisha because it's Tisha's father who's in my DM. So that set the crowd wild. Everybody's like, what? Miss Wanda's baby daddy, who is Letitia's father, is in Melody's DM on Instagram trying to talk to her. Girl, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So after Carlos got up and he put some popcorn in his mouth to just keep his mouth shut from saying what he needed to say, he sat back down, and then he got into the next segment. After he took a minute, they have what's called the King's Court, and I believe there was two more sections left after that. So in the King's Court, he asked the questions of the two ladies, and they had to get up as if they were in the courtroom, and he had his little gavel and his little palette, so he needed to bang it if it's necessary. So the question that was asked of the two ladies is Miss Wanda valid in meddling in Letitia's life? And of course, both ladies says no. Letitia is a grown woman. She's married with children of her own, and Miss Wanda needs to stay out of Letitia's life and let her live her life. My opinion to that is that I agree. Yes, come to me when you need advice. As a mom, if you need advice, you could come to me and ask me, but at the same time, I'm not going to be running around and doing your detective work for you because as we know, Miss Wanda is Letitia's detective. She follows Marcel like she says to make sure that he goes where he says he's going. She is scanning social media for any kind of rumor that's put out there about Marcel, and then she takes it back to Letitia and said, this is what I found, or she'll take it even back to Marcel and say, this is what I found, is it true, and so on and so forth. So yeah, she does a lot of meddling. Miss Wanda needs to go open up her food truck with her loaded potatoes and feed all of Huntsville or Bessemer, Alabama, or even into Atlanta where there's more people, and make her coins. Maybe then she will stop meddling. Marcel, give that woman the money to go get the food truck so she could drive to Atlanta, go sell her loaded potatoes and make her money and pay you guys back for helping her. So that's my opinion on that. Now we have what he said. The next segment after commercial is a sneak peek. So we got a sneak peek of next week's episode of Love and Marriage D.C, and we see it get heated. This is the second episode, guys, of the entire franchise, and it's already heated. We have Ashley and what's her name, Winter, going back and forth at it across the table. We get to find out a little bit more about these people, and we find out what's going on with those ladies. All right, so we leave that there. Then we have what's called the read of the night. And with that segment, what Carlos did was he thanked Melody for, partnering with him and trusting in him to bring the franchise to life, because like I said, we have Love and Marriage Huntsville, and now we have Love and Marriage DC. And he just thanked Melody for being there by his side. He thanked the OWN network for actually working with him. And I think that's a great idea, because I know for sure I will be following Carlos King's career. He is a great producer. All the shows that he has touched so far has been doing well. And I'm going to make sure that I stick by him and review everything that he does. I just love to see our people prosper and do well. And for sure, I'm going to be there watching every move that Carlos Kings make, because I know it's going to be great going forward. Carlos, at the end of that, also dedicated the show to his mom, who he says is in heaven, and he teared up a little bit, which I thought was so sweet. I mean, when your parents instill certain values and things in you, you take it with you throughout life. And I'm sure some of the things that he's bringing into his career is things that were taught to him by his parents. So that was really nice to see. And that's how Carlos ended the first episode of the Nightcap with Carlos King. And that is my review. So next week, we're going to have Dr. Heavenly from Dr. Heavenly is from Married to Medicine. And we're going to have Martha Holt, who is Melody's ex-husband. So that's who we're going to see with Carlos on the next episode. So that should be pretty interesting, because Dr. Heavenly is a little firecracker herself. So I know that's going to be interesting. And she's going to put Martel's feet to the fire, because she did an interview with him on YouTube and she did not let up. She was just going in on him. So hopefully the next episode, well, I know for sure the next episode is going to be really interesting. Carlos is picking some really great people to come onto the show together. That way, keep it flowing and keep it interesting. And he himself is interesting. I find that. So yes, I did enjoy this first episode of the Nightcap with Carlos King. I really wish it was a little bit longer, an hour, but hey, half an hour. We start out small and then we go into it. So I'm sure by season 2 it will be a 1-hour show. So like I said, that is my recap and my review of the Nightcap with Carlos King. So thank you for watching my video. Thumbs up this video. Make sure that you go and you watch all these shows if you haven't already, because they're really, really interesting. Thumbs up this video. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you wish. And until next time, guys, be sure to take care of yourselves and your family. Bye-bye. Left foot, right foot is no. Left cheek, right cheek. Left cheek, right cheek. Oh, I forgot to mention the DJ. Left cheek, right cheek. DJ Princess Cut. How could I forget? Left cheek, right cheek. Ooh. Left cheek, right cheek. Take care, guys. Bye.